Hey, let me know if the audio is coming through okay. I want to make sure that I haven't gotten muted for some reason. So let's see here. I think we should be going. All right, so we're looking at videos to make for YouTube leads. A lot of you are getting into YouTube, and I could not be any more excited about that fact because it's just such a rewarding platform that is gonna grow with time. There's really no other platform at this present moment that has such upside potential, that has such a high impact, high value for people that are looking for your services, people that are looking to generate business, or generate business as a real estate agent and beyond. So let's see here. All right, so as you're coming in, a like is gonna go a long way. It's gonna help me help the algorithm share this video out. I don't see this like we're live. Hopefully we are. All right, there we go. All right, so videos to make. One of the questions that comes up when you get started with YouTube is, well, what videos should I make? I don't know. I just don't know which ones to really maximize the time that I'm investing in this YouTube marketing platform or the YouTube platform altogether. So we're looking at very strategic videos that have proven time and time again to generate real estate leads for our clients, for my agents, and for myself specifically. So there's a lot of different videos that you can take. There's a lot of different videos that you can make all together. And the creativity that every agent has is unique. But at the end of the day, these videos right here that we're going to cover are tried, true, tested. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We're going to go into the videos that if you make these videos in your YouTube channel, you will generate leads. You will get leads with the videos that we'll cover today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the chat. Let's begin. So number one, the first videos, well, in no particular order, there's going to be 5 videos to make for real estate leads that we're going to cover. And the first one I want to share with you is what to do before buying a house. So what to do before buying a house. This is the video that is going to bring you a ton of leads. It's going to bring you a ton of engagement because think about who is going to watch this video. So again, we're talking about the 5 videos to make on your YouTube channel that would generate you business. So think about the individual, the viewer that would type in something similar to what to do before buying a house, or what should I do before buying a house, or how do I buy a house? Things like that, those searches like that, they're going to either start on Google and then migrate over to YouTube, or stay on YouTube and be on YouTube and search for this information. So by you being the real estate professional that provides this information, you are winning. So just look at the YouTube platform altogether. There are attorneys on here that are full-time YouTubers. There are plumbers on here that are full-time YouTubers. There are all the other professions that you can think of that are full-time YouTubers, but at the same time, they are servicing their clientele. They're growing, they're expanding. Their law practice couldn't be any bigger. Their plumbing company couldn't be any bigger. Their construction company couldn't be any bigger. That is the opportunity that you have available to you right now. And this is all information that you have access to and you provide to your clients daily. So this video, what to do before buying a house, this is speaking to those individuals that are considering buying a house. Right? And you can take it any way that you want. You can take it in a very technical way. You can make it more of an abstract, subjective way. You can give your opinion and it's going to be right. At the end of the day, unless you're completely misleading, then you won't be right. But when it comes to the direction that you want to take these videos, it's all up to you. The important thing to recognize, and you're going to see this in the 4 other topics that we're going to cover, the 4 other videos to make to generate buyer leads. The big thing to note is you need to put yourself in the shoes of the viewer and really try to understand how close is this viewer from calling me. Let me say that again. How close is this viewer from calling me? If you're making videos that answer that question, well, if somebody is searching, if this viewer is searching for this type of information, they're pretty close, right? So, and you're going to see this manifest itself with time. So just you want to write this down. How close is this viewer from calling me? If you ask yourself that before you press the record button every single time, you're going to find yourself generating business for one, but you're going to find yourself generating leads from the videos that you're making. So oftentimes we get frustrated that we start doing these videos on YouTube and we're just not getting any traction. Either they're not getting viewed or they're getting a ton of views, but nobody's reaching out. Well, the reason that is happening is because you're making videos that really don't answer that question or really answer a question in a short time period, meaning how close is a viewer from calling me? Well, if you're making videos that the answer is, well, not that close. In fact, it has nothing to do with real estate altogether, so they're not going to call you, then that's a problem, right? So that's the first video that we were going to cover. So what to do before buying a house. If you make that video, you will generate leads. The second video I want to encourage you to make is, should I buy a house? This is going to work regardless of the day, regardless of the week, regardless of the month, regardless of the year, regardless of the decade. Should I buy a house? That is being searched so much in your neck of the woods. Now, if you want to pair that up with, should I buy a house in Dallas? Should I buy a house in Fort Worth? Should I buy a house in X, Y, and Z? So the area that you farm, that's a way to localize it and block out the national competition, right? So there's a good amount of videos that share information on should I buy a house, but now you're putting your spin on it and making it more local, making it more to the area that you actually work. You can operate a national referral business like a friend of the channel and one of the agents that we started his YouTube channel, Hola Franco. He has over 3 million views in a year. He has over 25,000 subscribers in a year and generates over 25 booked appointments every single week from YouTube. And that all started he started February of 2021. And now it's, as of this recording, it's April 2022. So he operates a national referral business at this point because his audience is international. So he's able to refer out. He's got his team now referring out business. Now if you get to that level, great, that's awesome, but you don't have to. You can make it more local to you. You can make content that's a little bit more local to you so you can actually work with people and record videos about the work that are local to you so you can work with those people. Right? So if you work the Dallas-Fort Worth market, then you make content around the Dallas-Fort Worth market. So anything that we talk about, feel free to construct it or make the video through the lens of the area that you work. So should I buy a house? You could leave it at that, or should I buy a house in 2022? Make it a little bit more relevant when it comes to the year, or make it more relevant in relation to where you live. Should I buy a house in Dallas? Should I buy a house in Texas? That's the type of video that you'll want to make. So let me know if this is making sense and if you have any questions. That's the second video to make. The third video to make is how to pick the perfect realtor. This is really where I want to pause for a quick second and illustrate and go back to that question that we are asking ourselves. How close is this viewer from calling me? So think about the consumer journey. Think about if you were looking for a house, why would you be typing this? Like how to pick the perfect realtor? Well, people are searching for that every single day, and it's generally those people that are looking for a real estate agent. They just need to know, hey, what should I be asking this real estate agent that I need to get? What makes a good real estate agent? Is it all the Zillow reviews? Is it the fact that they're full-time versus part-time? Is it what do I need to do to qualify the realtor? Same thing that we do when we get our first listing appointment or when we get our first buyer's appointment. We're Googling and we're YouTubing and we're trying to get as much information as possible so we know what to say when we're in front of the client. Flip that around. There are clients that are very forward thinking, that want to be prepared and don't sound silly or foolish, and want to know what they need to be asking you as a real estate agent, so you can answer that for them. So if you make a video how to pick the perfect realtor, you can share your philosophy on what a real estate agent should do or shouldn't do for their clients, right? So this is the B2C, so business to consumer, so business to client. We're not talking about you making content for the real estate agents. We're talking about you making content for those clients that are getting ready to interview real estate agents. So from a consumer journey perspective, so think about somebody that got the idea of, well, maybe should I buy a house? What are the rates doing? These are all questions that are happening. Once they start going down the funnel, once they start talking themselves into a decision, well, by the time they're asking how to pick the perfect realtor or what to ask during a realtor interview, they're at a different state of mind. They're not this far out from the purchase, right? So they've gotten a little bit closer to the purchase. So now they're looking for a real estate agent. If you're there answering the questions and having the call to action be, hey, reach out to me if you want the questionnaire, if you want the checklist of what the real estate agent should have, if you want my preferred real estate agent list, whatever the case may be, that's a call to action so people can actually go from watching you on the screen, watching you on YouTube, and getting into your database, right? So that's the third video to make. Now, the fourth video to make is the pros and cons of buying a house. This is a bit more evergreen. This is a bit more broader. This is not time bound. This is not geography bound. You can make it time bound. So you can put pros and cons of buying a house in 2022. Pros and cons of buying a house in Dallas. You can make it time bound or you can make it geography bound, but you don't have to, right? So this is a way to really stand the test of time, and making a pros and cons of buying a house is a really good way to get engagement, but it's a very good way to generate leads. So pros and cons of buying a house. This, understand though, is a little bit further back in the consumer journey, right? So, those that are looking for a real estate agent, like, hey, what questions should I ask a realtor? They're a little bit closer to do something in real estate than this topic right here, the pros and cons. So the pros and cons, they're a little bit further back. They're still in the exploratory phase. Like, hey, is this a good idea? Where's the market going to go? What should I be thinking about? What do I not know to ask that I should be asking, right? So the pros and cons of buying a house. So what am I overlooking? I've never bought a house before. I am renting right now. So when I buy a house, I hear a lot about property taxes. Do I have to pay those, or how are those paid? Am I paying those now? Right? There's a lot of, and I'll admit, like, before I started purchasing my properties and before I got into real estate, I was ignorant. And it's not a bad thing. It's just I hadn't done it before, right? So there's questions that I had on, well, what's a mortgage? How much could I afford? Who does the maintenance? If I lease a house versus buying a house, like all these questions that I had. And at some point, my realtor, I'm sure, was super, super aggravated. So thank you, Bob, for putting up with me. But that's something that we all go through, right? So nobody's immune. Now you give people the outlet, by creating a video so they can watch and get educated without feeling embarrassed, right? Because they're watching the video and they'll get a ton of information. Their data finding, or I was gonna say data mining, but neither of those is gonna make sense in that context. However, by you making this video, you're gonna provide a huge resource that the viewers absolutely need. Moving to Dallas, everything you need to know. So you can invert those. I like moving to Dallas because I like to play off of the SEO. So I want this to be the first thing that gets indexed. Everything you need to know is more of a qualifier, is more of a curiosity thing, it's more of an assurance, it's more of a way to get people to actually click on the video. But moving to Dallas, I want that to be the beginning. And then everything you need to know, I want to give people the assurance that once you watch this video, really you don't need to watch another video, especially for another real estate agent, because I would rather you call me, right? So moving to Dallas. So you can put moving to Dallas, moving to Orlando, moving to New York City, moving to Chicago, moving to whatever. So any area that you work, these videos are working incredibly well. These videos will generate you buyer leads. So again, Think about the consumer journey. How close is this client to calling me? How close is this viewer to calling me? If I make this video, does it have an opportunity of generating me leads? Well, the answer is yes. Well, the people that watch this video, the viewers that watch this video, how far out would they be from buying a house with me, right? So moving to Dallas, everything you need to know. Well, if I'm moving to Dallas, it could be a year from now. It could be 6 months from now. It could be next week, right? So everyone plans differently. Some people know what they're going to do and plan out their moves years in advance. Some surprises come up. Either they got relocated or they got laid off or something happened. Well, okay, well now I have to do something quick, right? So we all have those situations. They'll all get presented to us. So you making this video, you're speaking to that individual, all right? You're moving to Dallas. Here's everything you need to know. Here's what you need to know about the area. Here's what you need to know about the taxes. Here's what you need to know about the climate. Here's what you need to know about a typical salary or what you're going to need to survive, right? Because the cost of living in Dallas is different than Los Angeles. It's different than New York. If you're going to rent a house here in Dallas, well, it's going to be different than renting an apartment in New York City, right? So you need to have you need to be able to educate your clients, because these people need that guidance. And if you're able to provide that guidance, you are providing value up front, and it's just going to be so organic, and they're going to actually want to work with you when they call you, right? So I get calls every single day. It's like, hey, is this Jaime? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you. I'm watching your video right now. And I know it sounds a little bit hokey, but that happens every day. So it's a phenomenal thing. Maria, hello, Jaime. Thank you for the amazing content. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, Maria. So these are the 5 videos to make to generate some buyer leads. Now, a quick reminder, a like button is going to go a long way. It's going to really help send out the bat signal that this video is worth watching in YouTube's eyes. So let's do a quick summary. What to do before buying a house. That video is going to perform incredibly well. Should I buy a house? Now, again, remember, you can put this time-based or geographically based, or leave it as it is. Should I buy a house in Dallas? Should I buy a house in 2022? Right? So just remember that you can make that video, or both videos, in fact. How to pick the perfect realtor. This is us appealing to those individuals that are ready, willing, and able to. They just don't know with who yet, right? They're out there searching for a real estate agent. They just need to know the questions to ask. If we can prep them, chances are they're going to come right back to us, right? So we have the answers. So we're giving them the answers. And so funny, because we actually rewrote the question, which is pretty cool. It's happened to me several times. Pros and cons of buying a house, and then moving to whatever area that you're working with. So if you're in an area where there's a metroplex, then put metroplex. If you're in an area that is a little bit rural and there's not too many people that are researching for that, then put, as an example, West Texas. I wouldn't necessarily put moving to Lubbock, Texas, which is a city that was that I grew up around. I would put moving to West Texas, because West Texas could encompass Amarillo. It could encompass my hometown, Petersburg. It could encompass Florida, which is where I played golf, where it could encompass Lubbock. It could encompass Levelland, Brownfield. I cover a big territory. Or you can do something like the county base. So if you don't think there's enough traffic for the area, the city that you're in, it's one of those mid-sized cities, then you can put the county, right? So there's so many different ways that you can take it. You don't have to put moving to the specific city. You can make it a little bit broader depending on where you're at. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I really do appreciate you dropping by and hanging out. If there's anything I could be of service with,